Okay. Fine. This is my Craig talk. It's my Craig talk. I'm the Craig talker. With me is Steve. Say hi.
Uh,
Shell. Say hi.
Hi.
And best feminine shapes. Dijon. Say hi. It's a really good username. It's a really good username. All right, so I guess we read. I know we read Bring the Fire, Wisdom's Grave, Book 3. I will attempt to do some of the summary, and I'm sure people will jump in when I forget stuff because I have a problem called reading. We open up with Carolyn Saunders getting to see. Hold on, I'm confusing things in my head. Give me a second. We open up with Carolyn Saunders. The end of the book, end of the last book, she demanded to meet with the King of Rust. So we open up with her getting to meet the King of Rust, who is described as Dijon like a picture to me earlier. But he's described as a very, very handsome man, almost uncannily valley handsome.
I was like halfway through the book.
Fuck me.
Meets him.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I'm definitely fucking it up. Hold on.
The interrogator drags it out.
They dick around on the stupid ship for a while, and
yeah. I should get my. Oh wait, I forgot my. Okay, whatever. Let's just get into the book. I didn't have as much fun.
Stuff isn't important until the end.
Yeah, like I don't know how to. I don't want to say this. I've read this book like 3 times, and each time I've read it, I've liked it a little less. This was my 3rd reading, and I've liked it a little less. How do I want to summarize the plot? Fucking Mary's in a different universe. In this universe, what's her face? Nessa, she's taken over the world, and it's a cyberpunk dystopia. And Mary died before Nessa died, which is not usually what happens with the witch and the knight. So Nessa has spent years trying to find a Mary to take into her world, and she specifically is killing Mary's original Nessa by sending her bad spell book. So she has no other choice.
She did it.
Yeah.
It was Nessa from another universe.
Yep. The fact that like Mary in this world was an evil knight is really fucking with Mary's head, because she doesn't understand. Her ideal knight is, I guess, the version of her from the Revanche cycle that was like brainwashed and shit. I don't know.
And never remotely good at any point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, I'd frequently abuse my position as a cop, but an evil knight, I never.
Yes.
Well, now you're getting ahead.
Specifically,
I mean,
now you're just describing what the book itself says.
What's right? Mary's still a fucking shit idiot. This book really decreased my opinion of Mary.
Yeah. I can see that. So Mary makes her escape by like stealing some fucking armor or some shit that teleports her to another dimension so she can go home. But she promises Nessa of this world that if she can't save her Nessa, she'll come back or some shit.
It's also she didn't really escape. She forced herself out. She forced them to let her go.
She made a suicide bargain so she could be teleported to.
It's still an escape.
A ship in the
but like
it was
a
Marquis and
yeah, but it was more of a bargain than her just going. And I promise I'll come back. Bye.
Actually, yeah. Let's do this by threads.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it.
And so Faust and Nessa's stuff.
Yeah, Faust and Nessa's stuff. Nessa is going insane and killing everyone. She intentionally antagonizes the Chainmen to do murders in Reno or Vegas. I can't remember which. It's somewhere.
Out like her going to Carson in the most obvious trap, but she's stupid and insane, so she goes into the obvious trap.
Yeah,
and she would have died if what's her name, Dora, didn't stay walking out to save her.
Yeah. And she learns that Mary's alive, and they have to get to her. I remember this part the least because at least Mary's like, how does she get to the cool ship? Is like,
if they,
Like-
whatever. I can. They link back up with Faust and McCoven.
yeah,
It's like, they're in Vegas now. It's like, and Faust is like, no, okay, for serious this time. Stop doing magic in the open. And then Nyx comes to kill them all, and Faust is like, let's take this outside, but our hired guns are morons. So Faust does a shit ton of magic out in the open, and Nessa's like, no magic. And they run for a while.
Yeah, I guess at this point, Nessa's still dying. She's got like 2 of her special tonics left.
yeah.
And
This is
the
the
thing
worst.
is that like Nessa has communed with a knife, so she knows how to knife things.
Yeah, the knife.
Right.
They're going to do a knife ceremony to get to Mary.
Yeah, and then they do that thing. I mean, this is honestly like one of the worst. Like, I really hate this part of the book. It really just fucking sucks. Mary and Nessa Ministry unite on the ship, magic ship. Fucking. They meet up with a guy known as the Marquis, whatever.
Marquis, yeah,
the Marquis. If you don't recall, the thief's name always starts with an M. It's very clear. Like if you remember that this guy is supposed to be the thief of this particular reality or whatever.
Of some reality.
Yeah, of some reality,
I
but he's made
missed that.
Yeah, it's because we learned the thief's name like 20 million books ago, and it's Marcel.
Marcel.
Yeah.
Also,
like,
that's
that's-
a pretty tenuous connection with one letter.
Yeah, but he's also described as being like extremely like good at like sneaking into places, as evidenced by like the end of the book.
The shadow in between is everywhere and nowhere. It's unspecified of where his deal is.
Yeah, he's from somewhere, but it's not here. We meet with the
Bar at the end of nowhere.
Yeah.
Lady Gaspipe.
Yeah, who's another character in the story. She's the high priestess or something.
Oh yeah, the
psychopomp. Sorry. Her name starts with an H, and
She's not really a human, but she's still kind of in the first story.
Yeah, she reveals that like all the characters in the first story have like a power. Like the thief's supernaturally good at stealing shit. The witch is really good at magic, and hers is that she can remember every single one of her past lives, which doesn't sound good to me actually. But she says,
"Oh, hey, is that who you were playing?"
Yeah, I was just playing her. I was playing her, but realistically, because she would just be drunk all the time, right?
Yeah.
Also, as Lady Gaspipe puts it, she's less of a character of the story and more of infrastructure for the story.
Yeah. She
in vague ways ensures that the souls of the people in the first story keep going.
Yeah. And she offers to Mary to allow her to do some space drugs so that she can always remember all of her lives. And Mary asks the very good question of, why wouldn't you just give this to Nessa, who would then just become the most powerful witch ever? And she goes, no.
Have you spoken to Nessa?
Yeah, have you seen your girlfriend
already?
Yeah, I don't want to do that. And so Mary does it, and she gets the cool psychic.
By all previous Marys, really what the book means is only talks to dystopian cyberpunk Mary and not Mary alone.
Well, I thought it was less all the previous Marys and more like speak with the one you need the most. And she's like, okay, cool, it's gonna be the one from Morenze, and it's not.
It's not.
The book counts as in that crap, but it's only one Mary.
Yeah, like I think there would be more Marys that would be more relevant to this.
That's interesting you should say it like that, because the dystopian Mary's argument is that they are all the same Mary. So
it's just context or whatever. It's really
Yeah, if silver power is useless then. Hooray.
yeah.
You'd think that Mirenze Mary could have actually been very useful when she's fighting the Guardian with two Tonfas, but alright.
Yeah, no.
No, because the only Mary who's ever fought is dystopian cyberpunk Mary.
Yeah, so they hire the thief, forget his fucking name, starts with an M, to help them fucking board
the Hell Zone.
Yeah, go to the Hell Zone.
So
their whole...
they have to board the angel ship full of angels.
Oh yeah,
it has a portal to heaven on it, and this is where, oh boy.
We learned that there's...
By the way, did you know that there's a fight between angels that happened in the Shadow in Between? So that happened.
Yeah, we just get that dropped on us there.
Christianity is right.
So...
Sort of. Kind of.
Yeah, it's fucking Christianity, don't...
Like, I mean, yes, but there's obviously other gods and shit. It's not exactly Christianity.
So, can confirm it is. There are some pretty dire deviations.
Yeah, like angels being handsome.
Yeah, this is. They get all the relics together and they get their way out there. That's when they effectively make it to heaven. Except it's just sort of a place where there's a bunch of wandering nothing creatures, and this
shut down.
And then an old guy. And then just an old guy.
Damn you damn kids.
And then there's just an old guy who's like there, and
just an old guy.
he's like a groundskeeper or something, basically. Cause
he's implied to be like,
oh well,
he's Jesus.
No, he's the god.
He is every god.
He's every
god
prophet.
we know about. Yeah,
he's every prophet on earth.
Every world's Jesus.
Nope, specifically.
No,
he is. Yeah, no, it's specifically Daniel Faust's world where they opened up a test case for heaven and hell, and one of the guys.
Getting ahead of that.
It doesn't fucking matter though. It just all kind of.
That's why this part I fucking hate and sucks.
This is the point where he opens up his big book labeled exposition and says, why don't you come sit down and have some tea?
Well, it's more like, well, I can take you to the creator, but while we're walking, why don't I just tell you a story?
This is the part where Craig created a big, wide, interesting multiverse, and it's like, nope, let's shrink this the fuck down.
Yeah. So,
And then the guy says, well, actually, you are actually going to need the book to see God. You're gonna have to go find that. And Nessa says, oh, but the book's going a little long, isn't it? And the guy says, oh yeah, that's right. I'll just give it to you.
Yeah, they have to find some artifacts that the angels that were created had a big war. They have to find them to get to not God, specifically the Demiurge or whatever. But okay, I'm just gonna.
But then before they get, right before they're able to meet up with the Demiurge, who breaks in but the crazy goo monster Savannah Cross and her new lackey, who's the lady from the other, who's Rosala.
Moira, yeah, she's a.
By the way, Savannah Cross is a sexy big-titted slime girl now.
I'm leaving.
I think you mentioned that.
I'm leaving.
I don't think that's true.
In this book, Craig read about the ship of Theseus and just really stuck on that idea.
Real quick, I do think we need to explain the big meta plot type dealy.
Yeah.
Like, we need to touch upon this. So, Daniel Faust's world was so the Demiurge cut himself off and fucking from everyone. There's so much.
So Demiurge had a mother, and she was
I didn't want to talk about
creation. She created Right with a capital L, and she had a kid who
was a fuck up.
Essentially God, but the book prefers to call him a demiurge. The demiurge sucks at creating things, and he created worlds and people on the worlds, which are all humans, despite him changing them up every time. They're all humans. And humans suck because he sucks at creating and is an idiot.
He's also kind of the kid from St. Elsewhere.
Yeah, specifically, he saw how good and perfect everything his mom made was, and he was like, "I'm gonna do that too." But he did not do that good. Actually,
and in an attempt to make his worlds better, he made some angels and some lower tier angels. Yes,
not
the thrones. And there was 12 of them, and eventually none of them got bored of dealing with his bullshit. It's like,
makes sense.
Hey, fuck this shit. They end up killing God's mom.
Yes.
Her blood leaks all over the place. It's full of
becomes the shadow in between
magic.
Yeah.
It became the shadow in between, specifically shadow, because
it became the light in between. It was the light in between at the time. It later became the shadow in between.
It's blood in between, because then the fallen thrones, now calling themselves kings, corrupted all the blood and made it the shadow in between, and they feed off the shadow in between, and also suffering and pain from all the parallel humans.
They specifically gain power whenever humans are bad.
And
seems like a design flaw for your angels, by the way.
And
they can do that.
Demiurge God is like, well, this is fucking bad news. I'm going to seal myself up into my own private bubble world, and I have keys for it, and my free non-fuck thrones. Here are these keys. Defend them with your lives. So they put the
kings.
relics
the kings made keys in order to crack open the kings. The fallen throne. The kings made the keys, and then the loyalists stole them and scattered them across the universes.
Yeah, and one of them was
minor point who could care.
And I think someone in the last session asked, like, why is there a underwater temple thing? Who did this? We don't really need to know. It's kind of just cool. Anyways, the angels made that one of the three, and then they died there, and that's what the manacles are. They're a key.
All civilizations have the same precursor civilization, angels. Fuck.
Yeah.
I guess to be fair, like we had already made a parallel hell that was basically like Christian hell. So.
Well, no. So fucking.
Okay. No. So. Fucking, Lucifer, he's not a fallen angel. His sin is being a lazy jerk. And hell is supposed to be
so, hold on. Specifically, reincarnation is built into the universe. Everything reincarnates and just kind of flows in like a controlled like circuit type deal or whatever. Except on Faust's world, where the caretaker guy and his friend Lou, it's literally just God, and it's the Christian God and the Christian devil, sort of, decided to try something out because they realized that like reincarnated people were not like significantly improving. Like bad people were still kind of bad. So they thought, what if we rewarded the good people and they could go to heaven and just have enlightened philosophy talks all the time, and all the bad people went to hell where we beat the shit out of them and then reincarnated them.
Well,
I was supposed to be rehabilitated.
A good prison, but then oops, it turned out to be an actual prison.
Well, then it was like, actually, oops, never mind.
Yeah, because Lucifer then
intentions, wink.
Lucifer
any people's heart. Fuck, just whatever.
He was like, they're never gonna get good. I'm gonna make demons to fuck with them forever, and they never get reincarnated.
I will make demons because demons are the ideal form of human evolution.
Yeah, actually, the demons were initially created because they were supposed to be a good idea, but somehow that backfired. I don't know.
But
it turns out, Kevin, that we can't deal with just being like happy and content forever. We just end up murdering anyway because humans suck.
Yeah, because they can't die. And yeah, so that explains first off why there's only ever demons are like the only thing you see in Faust world, and like no one has ever seen or contacted God because heaven fucking blew itself up. But also we do see like an angel in Faust. I mean, I think the
We
second or first book we see an angel, and it's never really. I don't know how that squares up with like what Craig has created with this universe, because it doesn't sound like whatever. It's fine. Because apparently the demons know about this, but not really. Well, the demons call it an angel. But whatever, that's fine.
We do see the angels like in this book, and they're like really weird, kind of monstrous creatures wearing comedy masks.
Yeah, that's true. But like, this angel it's whatever. It doesn't matter. Craig wasn't thinking of it when he wrote this.
Craig also did throw in the flaming wheel angel for shits and giggles.
So yeah, that's the story of the universe. It kind of is just like
New Game Plus Christianity.
Yeah,
and then Nessa and Teenage Boy God have a little heart to heart where she's basically like, "Oh well, I'm gonna fucking kill ya."
Not yet.
No.
I mean, this happens. I mean, okay, so they get attacked. They go.
Yeah.
Do you want us to recreate the twist in the book?
No.
It's like, okay, Nessa stabs God, and King of Rust is like, hey, you're lying.
Yeah, that's the part I was at.
Oh fuck, whatever.
And then Craig,
I forgot. Here's how sad this is. I forgot that twist existed. I read this book like.
Yeah, it's dumb. And then Craig, because it's Craig, he has to write a heist.
Yeah, it then becomes a heist, which is actually like pretty fun, because the weird interrogator was not. Fuck, it's
a series of pretty goofy twists.
Yeah, I like when it becomes a heist though. That's pretty fun.
It's pretty fun. Like I never said I didn't know a secret of poison.
Yeah,
let me get away with that one. I know a secret of poison.
Yeah, so Carolyn Saunders
went back her thing. I was playing fair. I left all the hints that you needed in my story.
Like, now tell me, how many times in this story have witches listened into a conversation of a pool of still water?
Yeah, because Carolyn has asked for water, and she's like had it the entire time, and they've been spying in on the. So,
the interrogator is Marquis and
which is why ultimately I assume it's why he ultimately doesn't take the water away.
Yeah. Because he's pretending, because it's established that he has like an airtight whatever. We also forgot to mention that reincarnated Carolyn Saunders before she was Carolyn Saunders was named Carlos Sanders, and I think that's just great. Great name.
I picked up on that after the last book.
Yeah, no, I like the Carlos Sanders thing. That's such a dumb name.
Because Carlo from fucking the Revanche Cycle is their scribe.
Yeah, pretty much. You're right.
Like yeah, because the first and last name is CS.
Yep, he's recording the whatever, and he's also a drunkard. Yeah, it's Anyways, the twist happens, and the king's ship is like sort of
plots to kill and eat
the king.
At you, Julia.
Yeah.
The king.
Yeah, the king of fucking Rust, I think it is.
Yep, this one's Rust.
Yeah. And then there's a big Marvel Universe cinematic action movie fight where Game Master Anthony goes, "Come on in, guys," and everyone shows up. Literally everyone.
Yeah, it's just a big fight scene. It's whatever.
It's fine.
It's like, hey, God is dead, but he hasn't died yet. He's going to die.
Yeah, he's got it. Yeah, and then
and he cuts his neck and floods the shadow of blood of
the two big face-offs in this fight are Marie and what's her name, Rosales.
Yeah, which is feels so not earned, Rosales. By the way.
Oh yeah.
Rosales is just like, "Hey, remember me? I'm here. Wait, don't forget about me."
Yeah.
No, actually, no. She's like, "Hey, I'm still here, and my motive is still, I just don't want to work."
Yeah, it's like extremely relatable motive, by the way, but like, Seems like she's doing a lot of work.
2 paychecks for half for work. Hell yeah, lady.
But yeah, no, her squaring off against Mary feels very like okay, so Savannah, we learned her tragic backstory, by the way.
Yeah, that was the other one, Nessa and Savannah.
Like that fight.
I have words about this.
That fight feels earned because Savannah has been hounding them through 3 books.
Right, and particularly she and Nessa have
clash.
Similar powers.
Yes.
Fights or everything after.
But yeah, so anyways, let's talk about Savannah Cross's tragic backstory.
I'm good.
Are you happy, Heath? Savannah Cross's. I really want to talk about it because I really.
Oh, go for it then. Go
for it. I think it's extremely fucking. All right, so Savannah Cross was a promising, bio person or STEM person or whatever. She was just very smart and very promising, and she just really wanted to help everyone out using the power of science. So she went to college and got her science degree, and then she got her doctor science degree, and then she joined a company. And the harsh reality of the world is that being nice and trying to help people will not get you far in capitalism. So,
particularly if you're a woman.
Yeah, especially if you're a woman. So she starts doing what I'm going to term as cool brain tricks, where she gets rid of her need to sleep, gets rid of her emotion.
She put a syringe gun to her brain and probably
she basically numbs parts of her brain and shit to make it so she doesn't need to sleep, so she can work more to get ahead. And when that doesn't work, she basically makes herself a sociopath, so she doesn't feel bad.
Kills her boss.
Yeah. And then that's how we get to the Savannah Cross, who's just obsessed with doing really cool magic science. And that's her tragic backstory. Hey, Heath, did you like her tragic backstory?
It's awful. I'll get into it.
And then the reason that's revealed is that ultimately she decides to just kind of take out Adam.
Yeah.
So no one ever actually fights Adam.
Yeah.
Thank you, TV tropes, for this ending.
And then they all hug Game Master Anthony, and Nessa eats God.
Fine, was the Mary thing super briefly.
Yeah.
Mary has a revelation with other Mary that the true meaning of being a knight is fighting for what you believe in. Cool.
Fighting for.
But I don't think we establish what she believes in. Is my issue what does Mary stand for? She doesn't stand for what Nessa wants, so she's not fighting for what Nessa.
I think it's literally
she stands for her own truth.
Her truth.
Yeah, but you can't say
all stand for.
You can't stand for your own truth and not tell me what your truth is.
I mean, also from everything from Mary, her truth is the fucking stupid knight shit she believed in book 1, and now it's this is different now. Okay, how?
Yeah, it's so poorly fumbled.
I
have an idea of what I think it's supposed to be, and I can get into that later, but let's go ahead and finish.
There's so much work we need to...
The whole climax is to be TV tropes garbage.
So then anyways, Nessa attacks and dethrones God, and eats him. And then she disappears. And then we have a prologue, and Mary's I'm probably... Epilogue, sorry. Also, Carolyn Saunders fucking dies. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. It happens really fast. And it's supposed to be,
she's
poignant, but
a horrible pillar.
It's supposed to be poignant, but, all we've had with Carolyn Saunders is her telling this story, and then her being drunk mad at Faust in, 2 books. So it's not as poignant as Craig seems to think it would be. Sorry. That's my hot take. So, yeah, Carolyn Saunders dies.
Craig might have more of a foot in this game than
that's true.
Does. But
Carolyn dies. Carolyn dies so that Craig can live. Literally. Write this book about how great Craig is.
He wrote himself into his fucking books.
He killed himself. It's very good. Okay, so then Mary's sad because Nessa's not back. And she's like,
well, yeah,
I'm gonna.
Nessa, they just assume that Nessa blinked herself out of existence with the throne.
Yeah.
She took too big of a sippy.
She took
Yeah.
too big of a sippy. So Mary's like, I'm probably gonna kill myself, and then
she's like, nah, I'm not.
And then Senator Roth goes, haha, I'm also here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The thing between you and Calypso was happening.
Yeah, whatever.
Pointless ass shit at the end.
Yeah, it feels like it should have.
Haha, I'm
like,
loose end. Oh no.
The Senator Roth stuff definitely feels like it should have been resolved in like a Daniel Faust book where we actually give a shit.
He's a Faust villain.
Or
Harmony Black.
Or Harmony Black, yes.
Or fuck, even if neither of those, the first half of this book, not the
there's this whole plot where he wants.
He's not an in book.
Yeah, there's a whole thing where he he hired the Chainmen to like fucking get revenge on Nessa and Mary that we just didn't talk about because it happens it matters once and then they're like on a sci-fi adventure, not on the world where Roth is. So okay, there's no reason it matters. But anyways, we forgot that Roth is doing this. So yeah, no, fuck Roth go hell. Roth go hell. Mary's sad, but then she starts.
She's like, oh, I'm ruined. Oh, I'll just start again from nothing. Hey.
Yeah, Calypso's like,
hey, homeless guy for harmonica. You figure you're pretty good at a harmonica, hey?
Yeah.
We're gonna do the same thing twice.
That's how you build your legend up again.
Well, it's fine because Calypso wants to become a Simpsons character. It's fine.
All right, sorry. Yeah. So then, let's. I just want to finish this so much. So then Mary starts seeing signs, and she goes, "Oh my God, Nessa's talking to me." And Nessa's at a.
Well, actually, no, she doesn't. She goes, "Oh, that's
weird. Yeah.
Everything says that I should go to a cafe, but I don't wanna."
Yeah.
So anyway,
and the stock ticker in Times Square goes, "Hey, Mary, you fucking idiot!"
Shit.
Damn it, Mary.
And it turns out that
being nice.
It turns out that Nessa's back, and she's a god. She have god eyes. It's full of stars. And she says, Mary, we're going to go kill more angels, and you're going to take a sippy sip of their blood and become like me. And we're going to be lesbians forever. 100 years of Nessa and Mary.
And then they both throw up the horns and rock
Mick
out.
And Morty. Truly,
yeah, the literal old Mick and Morty. 100 million years, 100 episodes of... that's what happens.
Listen,
and
we're going to replace the cruelty of the kings with my cruelty.
Yeah, that's okay.
Because as established, Nessa is inescapably horrible and cruel.
Yes.
And Mary goes, well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, okay. Maybe Mary will be a moderating force? We don't know. We don't know what her truth is.
So...
The end!
And then they go into an alternate dimension where they find
Fuck, I forgot about this!
Hold on, Dijon. Can we just move right into our least favorite things? Because you're about to take mine.
The entire second half of the book?
No!
Okay.
The entire end of the book.
We need to speak about this, and then you can talk about why you hate it, because we have to...
Okay.
All right, so
you could just lead with your least favorite thing.
Yeah,
just go ahead and do that.
We'll lead. So this is how the book ends. This is how the book really ends. I'm trying to think of how to describe it. Okay, scene: a cold, blasted world full of tribes, of primitive human tribes. Sad Mary, dressed in fur, cries over someone, but it's obviously Mary because
She's crying over a dead witch.
She's crying over her dead girlfriend, who was a cave woman witch. When portal opened, oh my God, it's me! And also, so they fucking go to a world where Mary is.
They go to the dystopian future world.
It's not. Yes. So they go to cave person world to find a Mary who has lost her Nessa, so that they can go give future dystopia Nessa, cave woman, Mary, who definitely wouldn't speak the same language or understand anything about technology.
But she did, so it's fine.
And now they will work together for some reason.
It's fine. We've established that all multiverses have the same language.
So...
The end. Hey, Shell,
I can't wait for the sequel book starring like those two, titled "Oops, I Married a Fascist."
It's just Encino Man, dude.
She's discovering what fascism is and then realizing she's married to one.
Okay, so...
Alright, Shell, what's your least favorite?
Okay, so as usual, I do have a joke least favorite thing, but I'm going to do that second.
Yeah.
My real least favorite thing is that, because what? We spent like a third of this book with Marie being like, I will not do this thing for this fascist Nessa. My Nessa's still alive and I'm going to save her. This is not okay. I will not be held here. And then they take another Marie and put her into that same place.
Yeah, but it's okay. Because she's going to kill herself.
God. In broader scopes, it's the assertion that no, we might be the same character, but we're different.
Yes.
Is what has been maintained through the whole book of the end. It's like, fuck it, interchangeable.
You can just throw it to everyone you want, except you can just throw this like ancient Marie into there because why not?
Like ruining his shit.
Like also like
because and yeah, actually that leads into the like there's the obvious reason it's terrible, but the really big thing for me that really sucked was the one thing that Marie's supposed to have determined at the end is that it doesn't matter that the other Maries act differently than her, and it doesn't matter if that the thing that they have in common doesn't mean that they are the same entity. It just means that they have a shared whatever.
No, same
and
entity.
she doesn't have to. And that she doesn't have to completely give in to the bloodlust. But then they just turn around and treat it like, and then treat up all of them, the continuum of Maries like they can be swapped, like mixed and matched,
like Rick and Morty. Yes.
So the point that they tried to make, which I'm sure I could feel Heave wanting to say that is not the point they made at all there the entire time, but the point they were trying to make is completely destroyed by that epilogue.
Try to bring up something to agree with you. Fuck off.
Wow.
I'm not used to that.
So they explicitly in this book all bring up nature versus nurture, and Craig coming down hard on entirely nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your lived experiences do not matter. You are interchangeable.
Yeah, like because it's also well, how do I put this? Like in the characters, right? The story characters, their lives follow a sort of like set path. Like the paladin is always like a law enforcement person, like their father is a law enforcement person, and then they die. The knight has their parents die or are not part of their life or whatever. So they have like this set sort of path their life has to take. Unless it doesn't happen, then they are like I guess the example is like in Killing Floor Blues when we learned that like the one paladin, her father never got fucking murdered, so she just stayed a small town sheriff her entire life. So like I guess the story matters unless it doesn't. Yeah, it's so fucking confusing.
It's weird that this whole primordial first story has failure states.
Yeah.
It's like, shit.
So the thing is that when it was first introduced back in Killing Floor Blues, that was the rule that was set up. It's
yes,
it has to follow the narrative, but it doesn't necessarily have to be shaped the same way, especially since characters are very seldom on the same plane at the same time.
Yeah. Also, sorry, I forgot to mention, we learned that the first story was told because the Demiurge got bored and he was like, why aren't you creating art? I'll tell you a story.
Is a shit again.
The Demiurge is just
he created the first story entirely on accident. Like
yeah,
it wasn't until later he looked back and was like, oh shit, they're alive.
Yeah, and he was like he put it in his fucking notes that he should solve that maybe later, possibly, and then he never did, which is probably like the most realist portrayal of a god ever. So that's fine. I agree with that.
I mean, honestly, real good portrayal of an artist too.
Also, there's the weird digression where God's like, oh my god, you know how annoying it is to have 10,000 people praying for their sports team to win?
That was so fucking stupid.
So
like
that's a Bruce Almighty joke.
Religion, Greg.
So I mean, just to start out with, you're not wrong. But also audiobook. So I have the person like intonating everything like as directed. That whole scene. And she actually did a really good job emulating it voice wise, but definitely came off as a 12-year-old who did not understand anything that they were doing.
Yeah.
So by that circumstance, I could understand the reaction, but Heave is absolutely right. Then it just sort of sinks into, hey, here's this commentary about God and praying.
See, I think it would be like if he was actually like a fucking 12-year-old and he was like, why isn't my stuff coming out perfect? But like by this point in the story, he's like an ages old like person who's still just a kid for some reason. It's not really explained why he never learned that like perfection is not something that you can achieve or whatever. Possibly because he's fucking stupid.
Explain why he's in a kid body.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Okay. Least favorite part, Heave.
I've been circling around like the whole time about how stupid the cosmology of Craig's whole meta series is now. But how he took something cool and just like, well, fuck it, let's blow this up. But I'm going to zoom in instead to the Savannah Cross thing.
Hell yeah,
We've talked plenty about how much the cosmology sucks and how it's shrink the world and whatever. But the Savannah Cross thing, it's dumb. I hate it.
It's really bad.
Like,
I don't know why we can't just have villains that are just like bad because
they just want to do fucking evil shit.
Like it's not even that hard to believe. Like I can go on Twitter and like find any STEM lord, and they're literally saying the same shit Savannah Cross is saying, except they haven't chemically altered their brain.
Literally, I posted this panel right after finished reading the book, the famous Spider-Man panel.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? You could be curing cancer doing all this, and you're creating dinosaurs. I don't want to cure cancer. I want to make dinosaurs.
Yep.
Like it's that. It's like that's the type of mad scientist film that's effective. Is like, yeah, I could be doing this, but I don't wanna.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Savannah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And then I was gonna say, but the thing is that like I don't dislike the idea of Daniel Faust of like any of these books having a sympathetic antagonist, because these books are already filled. Like these books are already filled to the brim with unsympathetic antagonists.
Yeah.
Like it is the like Senator Alton Roth, absolutely despicable. Like nothing like redeemable about him.
Yep.
Like Nyx, nothing redeemable about her.
She's embarrassed by her mom. That's a little fun.
Like all the assholes in the lodge, nothing redeemable about them.
Yeah, it's just like.
But why her?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Is the commentary supposed to be like women have to become ruthless because of like sexism and like capitalism takes like your. If that's the theme, it got introduced in the last book. That's so bad.
That's a theme that's been through all three books. Has society. Women are forced to be monsters in order to live in society.
It's kind of supposed to be. It's supposed to be Nessa's through lesson, but it kind of gets forgotten for most of the third book until they shoehorn it in at the end.
Yeah. Also, I want
shit about fucking Savannah isn't like it is not patriarchy shit. It's capitalism.
Yeah. Also,
it's fucking capitalism doing it.
I get that it's supposed to be Nessa's lesson and whatever, as Shell said, but Nessa doesn't learn that lesson. Savannah does.
No.
It's very confusing.
Well, no, the thing I think of it is
Nessa lives in the first book.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think that what was being attempted with the Faust world, Nessa and Marie was that was supposed to be an indication that that even if they are the witch and the knight, they don't have to be the witch and the knight. But
failed.
Yeah, no, that's just it. And I think that we're supposed to get that from Marie, not actually just like fumbling for what she wants to do rather than and just deciding it's this, no now it's that, no now it's this. And I think we're supposed to get that with Nessa like taking out all of her rage on everything, but then like softening at certain points to be like, maybe actually I could help people. And I feel like the Savannah Cross thing was intended to be an effort to come back to that, but it's a clunky and broken way of doing that.
Also,
but I even got to a point that really infuriates me with her.
Also, okay, go ahead. Do it.
Because I mean, like, okay, do you have a villain with a tragic backstory? Like, okay, fine, whatever. But then you have to go for lowest effort, fucking, I keep saying this, tropiest way of her getting like a fucking redemption by death.
Oh yeah,
off.
Yeah. It's very. She finally realizes just in time to die. Yep.
Yeah.
We never actually said this, but Adam, who is described as some sort of horrible homunculus or construct,
he's oops all muscle. Oops all muscle.
He's super intimidating.
As possibly being literally made of clay.
Yeah, he's it's gross. He's so, intentionally supposed to be super gross to look at.
Rather than fight him, let's just tackles him into the unspeakable hell world. They both die.
Yep.
It's like, no, you don't get to fucking do that with. Also, that's just in general, I hate villain redeemed in death trope. It sucks.
Also, why does Savannah not remember until the end that she did all these things to herself? I don't think that's ever explained.
Oh no, that is explained. It's because it's a side effect of the shit that she did.
Oh fuck yeah, okay, my bad.
It's not really explained as why Nessa has the magic to get all these out, but whatever.
No. This is the dance. This is the dance.
It's the dance of Venus.
It has to be experiences that you've whatever. I don't give a shit.
It's supposed to be experiences that you can remember, I believe. But if she can't remember, whatever, it's fine. It has to happen so that Savannah can have her redemption arc.
If you don't have memories of it, then did it really fucking happen to you? It's like when you go get fucking your wisdom teeth out. Like you're awake doing that. Just you have the knockout juice. Just raises your memories of being awake.
Oh shit! Really? That's terrifying.
General anesthetic does that a lot. It's fucking weird.
Don't like that. All right, Dijon, what was your least favorite part?
This book is a mess. So I guess I'm going to pick the third axis and say Senator. Everything that had to do with Senator Alton Roth was absolutely useless.
Yes. Again, should have happened in a Daniel Faust book, where we actually give a shit about this man.
Like the opening thing, like the opening entire couple chapters where Nessa is going to she's going to siege the Capitol building to go to kill Alton. That's pointless.
Yeah, you're right.
All that succeeds in doing is she meets Dora, who takes her where Nessa was going anyway before she decided to go do this thing that was pointless.
Yeah.
Like she shows up to go like, no, you shouldn't be doing this for real. Like let's just go do the other thing. She's like, oh okay.
It's briefly for a moment, it's sort of made a big deal about like, hey Faust, you fucked up on your obligation to the mourner. The matter's that's never addressed.
No, Faust never gets any like comeuppance.
No, it's
like they make it seem like that's a big deal in the book, and they're just like,
there's just
I forgot about that.
There's so much happening in this book.
A lot less cool.
Yeah, like Dijon said, this book is a fucking mess. Like, there's so much happening in it, but like some of it just doesn't matter.
You know what really tweaks my nose is
what
that
okay,
so there's a scene like where Harmony Black like they're like analyzing the like they're analyzing the shootouts at the hotel, and they eventually like trace like they figure out like, oh, here's one of the guns. Oh, let's see who originally had this gun. Then they trace it back to like Talon Industries. Like, oh, Alton Roth is involved. I think we're gonna have to take care of him in our next book, maybe. Then he just dies at the end.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to Craig, like he was rebooting the series for Harmony Black, so that probably was never gonna happen. But
yeah.
There's plenty of Faust times that Faust has plenty of issue with Roth.
Yeah, it could have been easily in another book. Would have been way better in another book.
The thing is though that when Roth dies, it's just Nyx. It's not anybody. Yeah. It's not even Nessa. Like it's Nyx. It's Calypso sticking Nyx on him, and that's it. It doesn't. Yeah. It literally has nothing to do with any of the people that he impacted.
I'm not even sure why we need these scenes in this book. To be honest, like I don't know why Nessa's husband had to be related to Roth, because that really like he could have been related to literally any other powerful person.
He's a nothing burger in the whole series.
Yeah, it definitely, now that I'm thinking about it and having like reread this again, it feels like Roth, like Craig was just like, God, I have Roth, but I can't use him anywhere. His story is very clearly done because Faust can't take him on because he's a demon knight. And
also,
like,
fuck it, Faust has just straight up shot a lot of normal people in the head. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so fucking. I don't.
And also I don't care about Scratch's like pathos.
Yeah.
Like he has a lot of pathos in this book. There are a lot of scenes of him going like, "Oh no, do I do the right thing, or do I do the right thing even though it'll ruin my reputation? Am I too in?"
This is one of the times I'm sad I have a paper copy because I want to search a digital copy of this to see how many times Scratch just says, "I'm a rambling gambler, man," and says it so much.
Why does he care if he's doing the right thing? He's a fucking demon, right? Whatever.
Yeah, also, I don't get what pushed him to call the contract off with Roth.
He decided to?
No, because Roth
and Caitlin had a very nice heart-to-heart off screen.
Yeah, no, he told Roth, like, don't bother with Nessa. I'll deal with her. Don't do anything. If you do something,
he violated the contract.
Yeah, he violated it.
They always had a
we already knew
that. Where he's like, you want to call my contract due? Kill me right now. Do it, man. It's like, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, and then he just
no, because he and Caitlin had an after-school special discussion off screen.
It's stupid. Can I say my least?
The one that they had on screen.
I have my least favorite part thing.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry, Dijon. Sorry, continue, Dijon.
I think that maybe he just realized because he knew deep down inside somehow that Nessa was still alive, so I think he realized that if he let Mary die, God Nessa was going to come back and obliterate him.
My least favorite part.
That's a good headcanon.
My least favorite part. What part did I not like that we haven't already said? Oh, I know. I don't like that the fun, mysterious thing was just completely explained. Like, first story was fully explained.
So weird.
The war in heaven was explained, even though that's something we didn't need to give a shit about. The shadow in between was fully explained. Like, this is just like, let's explain all the lore. I don't know why we had to explain all the lore. I kind of liked it when yeah, I liked it when like we didn't understand what the what the kings were. I kind of like that, but now we know they're all handsome angels. I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
I think
this is just Craig. He made this huge expansive world. Now in this book, he's just shrunk it all right down.
I
set the boundaries.
I guess that it would be like in the second book we have that cool like underwater temple, and it's like, where did this come from? And then literally a book later it gets explained. That's kind of dumb. Like I guess some explanation of the first story was inevitable given the nature of this, but like I didn't expect for like the actual just like, okay, let me tell you the full story. Like, oh, I was kind of and like I'm also like not a big fan of like how do I put this? Like they literally kill God. Like what's like I'm not a big fan of that. Like literally all Nessa has to do is like she rolls a natural 20 on her charisma check and God's like, yeah, I'll commit suicide after like being a coward for thousands and millions of years.
It also made they doing a big talk of killing God. But also like God's not doing shit anyway, so
also he isn't dead at the point that that Carolyn's being interrogated.
Yeah,
like he's still alive, actually.
I don't know. It was just very dumb. I like the fact that like they do take God to task for creating the trope of like the lesbian couple always fucking dies. That's good. I just hate literally everything surrounding it. Like they literally talk to God. It's so fucking stupid. I would have preferred it if they
rot.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been better like they don't so much break the like cycle of the story as they just like they just remove themselves from it in a way that like can never ever be replicated. Like so if Nessa if God Nessa dies, does she go back into the story? So then the problem's not really solved because we know gods can die. If Mary dies, does she
it's not clear if the first story is broken. It as far as we're still going, and in any case,
like what's gonna happen? Like obviously, there's not going to be any more witch or knight because they are immortal now. So like, is the first story broken? Question mark.
Except that the first story happens non-linearly across worlds.
Yeah, because of it's already been.
I don't think it even merits speculating because they just the book just outright doesn't tell you. It just doesn't say anything about that.
Like okay, so the first story was already broken when like they trapped. Yeah, they trapped the enemy. It was already broken. So I guess my issue is like, why did they have to kill God? Why couldn't they just continue to break the story? I guess the scope of the story I dislike after a third reading. Like it starts out very, very localized, which I think is like the best way Craig can write. It starts out like very urban, very localized to one location, and then it kind of becomes like a road trip type deal, which I dug. And then it just becomes like it just keeps stepping up in a way I don't like, I guess.
Also, sorry, this is a bit backtrack. We have one point to make.
Mm-hmm.
Is I know that it's explicitly said in text. It's like, oh, why are we dying because of who we love? Except everything we know about the first story, it's not about the fact that they're in love, that they die, and that part that Craig was trying to push just felt unearned to me.
Yeah. No, I think it would have been better if they were like, go with me for a second. The third book is about them trying to heist the story, and breaking it into a million little pieces. I think that would have been better, instead of what we got. I like the alternate world setup shit that Craig does. I like seeing the dystopian, New Amsterdam Earth shit. That's fun. I like that.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, but it feels really out of place in this book. At times, I feel like if Craig wanted to do that, he should have maybe written a book where that was the focus. Because again, the alternate world stuff does not become a thing until like the end of the second book, and then the third book is just like all about it. The scope is weird to me. I don't know. Didn't like it.
Bizarre power creep happening.
Yeah, for 3 books, right? Like, but I would just be super in if like they break the story, like, and that's how they get their happy ending, because they don't break the story, right? They don't, through no means of their own do they actually like get their freedom. Like, God kills himself, and then they kind of just like stumble into becoming living gods. Sort of. The plan's not good.
I mean, I don't know. I think that it suggests. I feel like the ending suggests that it's not over.
Yeah, no, they're still doing things like fighting the king.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that has to. I think it. I don't think that the idea is that the story is supposed to be resolved now. But
that's not.
Again, it.
That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that, like, through no merit of their own or their own cleverness and their own skill, do they break out of the cycle. They just become literal Deus Ex Machinas. That's how they get out. And it's not like these characters like working and using their skills and like outthinking the story to break out of it. They just literally become gods, and that's such a shitty solution, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It just sucks. It sucks so fucking bad. Like, obviously the story's not over because they didn't fucking break it. They just Deus Ex Machina. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. I don't want Godness. I don't want her. And she calls herself the Owl. Spoilers. She calls herself the Owl, and it sucks, and I hate it.
Well, she's always done that.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
Yeah,
it just, like, I don't know.
It's not necessary.
Yeah.
It's
Again,
that's
part of. I guess part of like the thing I like about Craig's work is that, like, at the end, the protagonists break out or solve a situation based on their cleverness and like outsmarting the enemy. And at no point does it feel like Nessa and Mary have outsmarted the first story in any like significant way. They literally just Deus Ex Machina themselves. It feels so lazy and unearned.
At the very end, like they do outsmart their enemy, because at the very end there is a complete enemy bait and switch, and it's like, actually the enemy is the King of Rust. He's the real antagonist now.
Yeah, I guess.
The outsmarting in this book, it's all done by fucking Caitlin. It's all done by Craig.
Yeah. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like. I guess if I was writing like something that would explain the first story, I would have the antagonist be the first story, and that's what it felt like for like the first 2 books. Is like the overall antagonist. Like, there's the little antagonist, but like the big looming threat is the first story, and then it goes. You thought that maybe there was going to be like some sort of struggle against the first story. No, they just become gods and they ascend out of the cycle. Cool.
Can I just say how much cooler the idea of some early primitive human told a story and it accidentally imprinted itself?
Yeah, that is also way
That's
cooler.
A really cooler idea.
Yeah, and then it's just been looping through infinite universes because it's so powerful and
it's just the machinery of the universe fundamentally.
Yeah, no, but there's like a lot. There's there's a literal line in the dialogue that's like, no, it wasn't that. So it's just like, okay, cool, it's not that.
It could literally just
yeah, what kind of idiot would you have to be to believe that?
It would have literally been better if it was just like the first Primal story, and because it was so basic and simple, like every universe told it, like every multiverse or universe or whatever told it, and like that's why it's repeating, because it's like universal, multiversal, and that's why like sometimes the characters change a little bit because the groove that was woven into this world is slightly different. But no, it's just God got mad that they weren't doing art fast enough, so he taught them how to do art. Okay. Thanks.
He arted so hard that it
So
became real.
Art
Though it does, it's based on how like many characters there are, it does definitely feel like God was just like, and then the witch and her knight, who I definitely mentioned before.
Well, yeah, it said as much. In fact, oh shit, that thing, I just kind of made it up as I went along.
Yeah.
I really didn't expect us to keep going. Sorry about that. Shit.
Anyways,
get back to it, but then
I guess I should ask, does anyone have a part they liked?
First, for one brief part where my dumb lizard Wayne is like, heh.
What part was that?
Where it's Nessa meets up with fascist Nessa.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh wait, before we go, we make out with each other. It's like, I always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That's funny.
But whomst amongst us wouldn't with their clone? Time clone.
I did not, but
well, Shell, get off that high horse and make out with your time clone.
No, I won't. I'm the paladin.
Did anyone else have a part they liked? I feel like it was Slim Pickens in this book.
No, I did. It's just that I had it, but we got so deep into.
I mean, there's a lot not to like about this book.
We got so deep into the bad parts. I have to go back for it. So maybe Dijon.
I can also
go next.
give a more earnest answer.
Okay.
Or that.
Or if Dijon's got one.
Sorry, I'll do what Dijon got. Just will briefly say. It's like pointless as a lot of the first half of the book is. There's just some nice like Faust and Harmony Black level stuff going on, and I'm kind of grooving on it, even if it all comes to nothing really.
Yeah, I mean, Harmony Black and Daniel Faust are good in this. They continue to be good. Again, if this was just Harmony Black and Daniel Faust is like that kind of team up book or crossover book, I think I'd enjoy it way more.
Oh wait, I know Julia's true low point.
What's my true low point?
This is where your favorite joke really started going.
What favorite joke?
Daniel pestering Harmony about his car.
Oh fuck, dude. It did happen a lot. Yeah. It did happen a lot. I forgot about it because like there's way worse things happening in this book, to be honest. No, that joke still is bad, but it is elevated to being less bad in this book where it's just like it's not good. Every level of this book makes me really unhappy. Like a lot. We didn't even talk about how they fought like a monster in a space station or something on the Angel ship or whatever.
Yeah, actually, that's actually it's kind of a I mean it's sort of a backwards thing because it's something my favorite thing was something that didn't happen.
Okay.
And that was in that scene. They send Hetty out because Hetty's with them the whole time. They send Hetty out to like be like, okay, is the thing going to like kill us if we walk through this place? And so she goes out, turns around, and she's like, I did it. And then, like, the thing descends on her. But she didn't die.
Yeah,
that's something that they didn't lose somebody one by one every step of the way. Like, Hetty was not part of the story. She's not like some predestined character, but she, I guess she is technically, but she doesn't die for the sake of the plot. Like,
yeah,
I'm glad for that. Same with Janine. Like, I'm glad that, like, I'm because in a lot of ways this story became very, well, as we pointed out, very stock and very very anime-y, tropey, like this, like all of these things.
Deadbeat chapters.
Yeah, so like, but like that was one thing that didn't happen. Craig did not just kill off the inconvenient ancillary characters. Like, they get to go on and be quirky in the world.
I'll agree to that, and just say that whole spaceship scene in isolation is neat.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a neat part on its own, because I think what I recall doing at that point was everything else that had happened just before. I was like, okay, that's really confusing, and then it just sort of dropped off, and I was like, okay, we're in this place now.
Craig is really good at writing like a tense kind of horror scene, and like it shines.
Yeah, you know, like I like the going through the water scene in the last book.
Yeah,
like.
It's good.
Huh?
Sorry, and hey, in this book, Craig did not explain for fucking Monsterman on the ship at all.
Oh no!
Yeah, no, he did. So I was so fucking surprised that we didn't get like.
So,
and this is a Gloopal Gorp, and
but we did this minor dumb thing of how are we going to get through this hallway, and we have to save Hetty. Oh right, the cutting knife.
Yeah.
Womp
womp. All right.
That thing we have that lets us do the thing.
But it's still really good overall, that whole thing, like the Hetty not actually dying.
Yeah, no, that's because like that was totally set up for her to like tragically die in front of them right before they reach their end. But no, she just gets to go to heaven with them and like interrogate Jesus. / Muhammad / Buddha / whatever.
Yeah, because he's all the prophets from Earth or whatever.
Like, you recognize some names, like.
To be accurate, to interrogate the Omni Prophet.
The Omni Prophet, yes.
I have a part I really like.
In fact, sorry. I think she's really critical of him.
Yeah. I mean, everyone should be critical of.
Yeah, but in a way that's like, this doesn't make sense.
Would you do this? I had a part I liked. I liked the Psychopomp as a character and concept. This is neat. It's neat. We don't get a lot of like story characters, like new story characters introduced all the time. Like we just learned that about the salesman or whatever in this book, and we learn about the Psychopomp, and I think the Psychopomp has like a really interesting like power, and it's neat. And I would be super interested in meeting the Psychopomp from Faust's world.
Yeah, they might not necessarily have a world thing, so I'll say it's a very interesting character. In fact, it's a first story character technically, but it's not really a narrative character. She's framework. She
guides them.
That's actually
girders and piping.
Yeah.
You know, I realized as I was saying it that I was wrong. Hetty is a character in the story. She's just not like she doesn't get a capitalized name.
Yeah.
Like, she's the apprentice who kills the poisoner. But yeah, sorry. I
like the Psychopomp. I think it's really neat that like the Psychopomp gets to remember every single one of her lives. And like she doesn't really actively participate like in the showy part of the story, she just kind of gets to enjoy the ride. She's like a way more fun scribe, in my opinion. Because the scribe has to experience everything firsthand and doesn't get to remember it, and then usually dies at the end. But the psychopomp just gets like to kind of chill out and like remember everything and just like knows when shit is going to happen. That if I had to be stuck in a horrible cycle of a story, that's the person I would want to be.
Yeah.
Also, you got a pretty easy job. You just got to take one soul, put it into another stupid world.
Yeah, and just sort of guide them along and make sure the story like goes
You're not
roughly.
gonna die horribly.
Yeah, no, it's just chill.
Lucy and Ethel in the Chocolate Factory, but it's souls.
Oh, it's so many souls. Shit,
Yeah,
when was
gotta
so
put
many
in my
characters
mouth,
for
put in
a
my
story?
boobs.
Yeah, that's it. I like that.
Only like 30 of these dudes. What the hell?
What
I like
did
the-
Ethan like?
I stole it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no, I mean I came with a different
Yes.
one.
Yes, tell us,
I didn't
Dijon.
come that unprepared. Basically any of the scenes with Janine and what's his face.
Oh,
Tony?
yeah, I did
Tony,
like
Janine and
those.
Tony. Like those, like any scene with those two is very good. Do,
Yes.
Like,
do you know how to use that?
I-
I'm a naughty librarian.
I think that those were also doubly refreshing because, like, we have this story that ultimately becomes like everything is a Deus Ex Machina, but those two are just mortals. They're just mortals that stumbled into everything, and they go out the other end as just mortals who stumbled into everything.
And they're still helpful. Like they still do things.
Yeah.
And not just kind of brushed aside. I like that.
Honestly, they kind of would feel welcome for me by book 3 of them still not really doing much other than having a few paragraphs here and there. Tony being like, "Yeah, magic's not real." Yes, it is. Well, okay then.
No, good.
This is a no.
Did you guys?
I didn't like them as much in the second book, but I don't know that. I think it's just because of the headiness of the third book that for me it was nice to have them.
Yeah, they're very
Did you
grounding.
guys like this book?
I mean, I had fun reading it, but I don't think it's a good book.
That's fair.
I didn't not enjoy myself.
Okay.
Even though my real actual most hated thing ever in this book was when Marie said dragons are meant to be slain.
Damn, Shell, I'm sorry, I didn't realize.
Yeah, I really wish you had warned me. Like that's fucked up.
Did you like it, Heave?
I said I was grooving on the first part. It was fun. It ended up being fucking completely inconsequential and bulk. Then I got increasingly disappointed with almost everything that happened in the back half of this.
We almost got a really cool scene where Savannah Cross almost killed Jesus, but then they left.
Yeah, the brief times we get when they are just flat out heisting.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some good times to hang your hat on in the back half of the book, but otherwise, I don't really like this book.
That's fair.
I think this book definitely has a BBC Sherlock problem where its issues don't super become evident until you reach the end, and it becomes clear that nothing was leading up to anything.
Until you reach season 3.
And you're like, oh, Cinder Roth is just, and that character is also just kind of pointless. Okay.
So on a third reading for me, I did not like this book. Partly because it's like the first part is pretty readable, like Heath said, and the heist parts are pretty fun, and there's like little bits in the second half that are also like good. But overall, it's just kind of a slog. Especially like when we stop to just like have the lore explained to us in very plain language.
Yeah, it's very JRPG.
Yes, it felt like I was enjoying a beautiful 2-hour-long cutscene.
Yeah.
Which is like when you're first reading this and you're like on the tail end of like book 2, because they came out like really close to each other because Craig knew that they would like you would want to read the next
Craig's
book.
a madman.
Yeah. So like you're on the high of how like book 2 ends because book 2 is very good, and like you're reading this the first time and you're like, yeah, this is fun, and then like I don't know, rereading it, it's just wet fart.
Actually, what's funny is that there actually what I didn't bring up because it's a reference for nobody, but that when everything was getting explained by like Jesus, then God, the Omniprophet, and then the Demiurge, what popped into my head was this is the plot to Xenogears.
Jesus.
Mother Sophia is the embodiment of wisdom who brings magic down to the people and is like killed by her prophets. Oh my god, it's the Xenogears, which itself is a bastardization of Gnostic Judaism.
I just realized something that I think we forgot to mention.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like a fucking meta arc thing from Revenge Cycle and from these books.
Shit.
It the shadow in between. That's Wisdom's grave.
Yeah, because her name was the goddess's name was Sophia, which is
wisdom.
Greek. Yeah, which
Greek.
means Greek, which is such a fucking. It only works. It only works if you speak Greek. So like why?
It works in one language on one world in one
No,
verb.
they explain this in that you notice that in all the parallel Earths, they have all the same precursor languages, so it just develop the same languages.
But that's not the.
Angels speak English.
Angels speak Greek, and that's why it's called Wisdom Grave. Okay. Yeah, okay.
We know that the angels didn't speak English because we see their we see their the error screens on their ships, and it's an unreadable language that is sometimes a little bit Arabic, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Hebrew, a little bit Hebrew.
Which fits into the Gnosticism thing. Oh my god.
Yeah, all right.
Also, everyone is just speaking English, and I realize I'm doing the ST3K in here, but whatever.
Dang.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
Craig is best writing crime.
Yeah, he's best at writing very small local stories, or like
he's
spy thrillers.
Such a good nasty crime boy.
And not committing writing crimes.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, he's also just good at. I mean, he's good at creating characters. So when he has something wide and sprawling like this, it really ends up being an injustice to the characters.
Yeah, there
can't fill themselves out in any way.
Yeah. Also, I forgot to mention this, but it definitely feels like Nessa's arc ends in book 1, and then she just Mary's arc technically runs through all 3 books of her learning how to be a knight, even if the answer is find your own truth, smiley face.
Did.
Nessa's arc did, there was bits of it in 2, but only in so much that it felt like it was leading up to something in the 3rd book.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
And then it didn't.
Her arc is, it's actually good to be a psychopath, but okay.
Which is totally not where it was going into.
No,
it's fucked up.
It's like Sophia in 2. She had that 1 or 2 scenes of sometimes kindness is good.
Well,
then where she's murder.
It really felt like at some point, what if? And I can't help but wonder if there are certain things that happened that were supposed to be considered this way, but. The idea that the witch taking back power could just be her teaching women to stand up for themselves, that was an idea that was born and then it just sort of died.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
I guess she technically is well, Demiurge, it's not. I don't really think Sophia's dead either. She's just kind of up there. You'll just be with her.
And
yeah, I don't know.
The end of his book went back to the end / beginning of his second book, where it's like, yeah, I'm going to do so much murder. Yeah, dear, no murders. Okay, I'll do a little bit of murders as a compromise.
As a treat.
Okay, I'm done.
All right, so next month we will be reading Ghosts of Gotham.
Hell yes.
The first book in the Ghosts of Gotham duology, I guess, is how I would describe it. There's only 2 books in it, but he might be writing a third. Unclear. Ghosts of Gotham does not involve Faust universe at all, so this will hopefully be it sort of does, but not really. I can't describe without spoiling the book. I'm not allowed to describe it. So
as I've read it, I was saying,
yeah, a character from Faust shows up. How's that? But it is not Faust World.
You'll see. Well,
it is not Faust World. It's explicitly not Faust World. No, it's explicitly.
I think you've already said explicitly what it is on the podcast.
Yeah, probably, but I don't fucking remember. But it's not Faust World. It's not Faust World. So we're gonna take a breather from this series after Wisdom's Grave. Ghosts of Gotham is the book that Craig wrote. He spent so much time in New York that he went insane. It's really good. I like Ghosts of Gotham quite a bit.
As happens to people in New York.
Yeah.
Just New Yorkers.
It's so Ghosts of Gotham is like a love story to New York. It's really good. Also, it's a love story to like Greek myth and like why capitalism and like misogyny is bad. It's a love story to like Ghosts of Gotham delivers on all the things that Nessa's character promises with regards to witches and the patriarchy, I think. It's good. I think you all are really going to like it a lot.
In Ghosts of Gotham, Craig learned what subtext is.
Yes.
It's not just for cowards.
Because this trilogy, the misogyny themes are very much, I know what subtext is for cowards.
Yeah, but this is
subtext for all cowards. It's
There's also like tarot card stuff. There's something for everyone in this fucking book, actually. There's tarot card stuff. There's urban myths from New York. There's fucking gothic horror. Greek myth. It is a fucking, and it all works and meshes really, really well together. I'm very excited to talk about it. Also,
Ghosts of Gotham also urban fantasy? Then
Ghosts of Gotham is also urban fantasy.
Okay. I'm trying to remember which of his books is not urban fantasy.
From here on out, they'll all be urban fantasy except for the Charlie McCabe books, which are doing heists. They're thrillers where they do heists. It's really good. It's Craig finally giving into what everyone wants to just writing heist books. For being honest.
I mean, he already is writing heist books.
Yeah, but he just gets really explicit about it. It's really good. I really like the Charlie McCabe books. So yeah, Ghosts of Gotham next month. It's good. I'm so fucking excited to talk about it. It's such a dense fucking book. Hey, Heath, do you have a Craig thing?
Oh yeah. This tweet is a very recent Craig tweet. He tweeted 2 hours ago.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Hey, Amazon wants to sell me a Black Panther costume mask because you've shopped for similar items. I'm not entirely sure what we're considering similar, but I think we might be working from different definitions.
Great. I love Craig, and I love his talks. Thank you. Why?